My name is Jack Melleuish. I'm in my third year of university and I mainly run the 15 and 5K.
My name is Walsh. I'm in year 11 and I run the 800 metres.
My family believes in me quite a lot. I was a tennis player early on. When I picked up my passion for running, they were with me the whole way and were very encouraging of early on when I was just aiming to do a half marathon and then a marathon.
My mum and dad definitely believe in my running a lot. They drive me to a lot of my races and a lot of my training, so they're definitely big supporters.
What motivates me the most, a lot of the time, if I've got something that I'm interested in, I go full out, all in, and nothing stops me.
The feeling of achievement and accomplishment when finishing a race, like sometimes training will be hard, but it's all about the bigger picture. Walking to the start line of a race, you get butterflies in your stomach and you feel all queasy. You can start to feel the adrenaline pumping through. Definitely exciting, but also very nervous feeling. And when you're on the start line, everything goes silent and it's just about focusing on the race and getting ready.
If I run a pool race, I think it's important to think about your long-term goals in the sport. Yes, you might have a big race that only comes around once a year, but there's going to be other opportunities. Whether you hit a time or not, you've still put in a massive effort in that race. You're going to be fitter for it no matter what.
My main method of recovery is a cool-down run after a training session or a race. When I get home, sometimes I'll use the foam roller, sometimes even an ice bath, and just making sure I eat the right food, eat some protein after, because it helps with muscle recovery. After a race, probably I'll have the next day off training, and it's just about modifying how you run the next day, because it's still important to keep that consistent training just to help with that recovery overall.
You've got a few different levels of recovery that you need to be focusing on. You've got your general week recovery. You do hard efforts during the week and the days after you should be taking it easy. So you might do 20 Ks worth of work on a Tuesday, which means that Wednesday, you could still run 13, 14 Ks, but they've got to be really easy, heart rate down. And then you've got things like foam rolling. That's something that I aim to do each day. The final thing they have is a magnesium pill. Magnesium is really good for your muscle recovery, preventing cramps, and something fairly common in distance runners to get cramps. It's important to have days off after a long run and before a hard session. The easy runs are something that you can't do race efforts every day, otherwise you will get injured. And so to be able to keep building that base without risking the injury is what you need for easy runs, which is why you do it so slowly. So my first ever running injury was when I was about 10, 11 years old, when I first ran competitive, and that was a thing called Sever's disease, which was an issue in your heel, the growth plate, and that's something that you can't actually fix. You've got to wait until you stop growing in that particular area, 3-4 years. I didn't run at all during that period.
My first ever running injury was I had a stress fracture in my shin, and it was 2 or 3 months out. I got it from just running a lot and also playing basketball. It was when I was in one of my peak running times and I was running really well, so it definitely hurt watching my friends and training partners being able to race while I had to sit out.
This current squad has about 20 people involved. You've got some incredibly talented individuals. The people like Lisa Waitman, who is a 4-time Olympian. It's a pleasure to train with such high quality athletes because it's quite inspiring and allows you to set goals and know what is needed to get to that level.
I train under my coach Gregor. We have a smaller squad. There's a lot more younger kids now, not so many older kids. Sometimes we'll do sessions with them and sometimes it will be alone. My coach is always telling me how to improve. He's very good at identifying how I can fix the problem. So I've had some calf niggles before and he's always do your calf raises and that will help. Found that definitely helps, and also just him guiding me through races, like the plan and the conditions and how to overcome that.
From the 1500 all the way to the marathon, the long run is very important. General weekly mileage, 5K gets 90-95% aerobic base to do well in it. This winter I've been really focusing on getting in the long efforts, and that's purely to set up hopefully a good summer of having a large aerobic base and then being able to cut down onto doing some speed work, sort of peak around that January, February period. Monday is my day off. Tuesday is a hard interval session because it's the winter season. It can be a 3x2K or a 3x3K. Wednesday is just an easy run. Hills in my easy runs. Going to get a little bit more gains from that. 13, 14Ks. Thursday, sometimes I'll do a session. Depends on if I've got a race on the weekend. Friday, I'll do an easy run. Saturday, if there's no race, a nice easy day, maybe 13Ks. Sunday, like to leave the long run till then, do 20 to 22 Ks, around 90, 95 Ks in a week.
Monday is a long run and strength or mobility drills. Tuesday is always a good threshold session, the longer session, 5 to 6K. Wednesday's again a bit of a recovery day, the easy run. Thursday's a track session or a shorter threshold depending on whether it's winter or summer. They're normally spike session, 200s, 400s. Friday's always a day off. Saturday is like a time trial, hills or a race. Sunday's recovery day, pool or some foam rolling. When you run 800 you get something called lactic acid. It's not fun, but it's a part of being an 800 meter runner. Kind of that burning feeling where your muscles have no oxygen. You can increase your lactic threshold, which is what short, fast reps do, because you'll run the rep until you have that lactic. Given a short break to recover, you'll do it again. Overall increases your lactic threshold, and it also builds that strength and speed power that is very important for 800.
So my main everyday shoe at the moment is the New Balance 880s. And so that's just your bulk mileage, easy day shoes, long run shoe. And then my standard interval shoe at the moment is the New Balance RC Elite. A great amount of cushion that allows you to do large workouts with minimal, soreness the next day. And, into racing, I've got the Nike Next Percent 2, which is I used to use for workouts, and now they're sort of towards the end of their life, and I want to keep them going, so I only use them for the important races. And then I guess the last shoe is the Spike, which I've got a Saucony Endorphin, which has been great during the track season. Super shoes is I guess a term that's been coined within the last 5 years or so, and it refers to a carbon plate which is in the midsole of the shoe, propels you forward and be able to run at a fast speed for a long time.
4 pairs of running shoes, so 2 pairs of spikes, 2 pairs of running shoes that are used for warm-ups, thresholds, training, and then the spikes for more track sessions and cross country. You obviously need a bit of strength to run 800 because it is quite a fast race, so definitely some strength and lean muscle in the legs. You don't want to be too big in the upper body, but you still need that kind of ropey muscle and just a good strong core. I'm working definitely a lot on my leg strength and overall power in the leg by going to the gym, and still working on core a lot, so it's a work in progress.
Your body will change as you run. And learning to be okay with being on the skinny side is the important thing, I think, yeah.
Running for Mount Alexander College at the state athletics final was definitely a great achievement, especially with my family was there cheering me on. So all the support, the build up to it was definitely helped me to be able to medal at state, and it was great coming home to school, being able to say I represented them and won a state medal. The ultimate goal is just to be fit and to be happy, hopefully being able to get around that 150 area, keep bettering myself at the 800 because that's the race I love.
6 months time, that's sort of middle of track season. I'm hoping to have run a few really good 1500s. I'm really hoping probably around that March time is when I'm going to be peaking in terms of speed, and so around March is what I'm hoping to be running the quickest that I will be. I always had the idea of running under 15 minutes would be a fantastic 5K goal. I think it's important to really just have the short-term goals of what you're mainly working towards, and maybe dream of certain times, but don't get too fixated on one lifetime goal.